Alright, halfway through my book, Impossible Odds, about Jessica Buchanan, how she got kidnapped by Somalian pirates, and how, SEAL Team 6 and the U.S. government came and they rescued her from the Somalian pirates and just had her journey and how she thought, and how her, I wouldn't say her boyfriend, husband at the time, like react to the situation, how his point of view was in the U.S. when he heard the news and everything. And she got kidnapped with her coworker Paul. I think you pronounce it Poul. And I thought an interesting part of when she got kidnapped was how she keeps thinking back to her training, heist. It was, yeah, heist. And it kind of just thinks about like how she talks about how she needs to just be calm and she needs to follow what they order. So when they ask for bribes, her and Paul actually give over like everything that they have, except for her very special ring that she doesn't want to give away. And then another interesting part was when Eric first got the phone call that said that Jessica was kidnapped, and he, of course, thought the worst at the time. Like, he didn't really know how to react. And then he calls her dad, and her dad seemed much more calm, but he was thinking the worst too. And they both kind of just like stayed in the situation. Like they decided not to like talk too much about the situation and hope for the best, even though they weren't expecting it. Which she did not die yet. I'm guessing she doesn't because she wrote the book. Yeah. And he also has to tell her dad to keep it quiet so they can't tell anyone about this, because like if it spreads, then it becomes a big thing. It would mess up the whole operation to get her back. And it goes through their journey, how they'd sleep, like they'd sleep on just the ground, like in the mud, like all this bad stuff, and they barely got any water every day, so they were like dehydrated, and she had to take her medicine, which sometimes they didn't give it to her, and it was really bad. And there's a part where Paul and one of the pirates like start fighting like verbally, and then the pirate like jumps up on him and points his AK-47 at him, and he fires, but the rounds are blank, so like a scare tactic for Paul and Jessica at the time. And they did that. And then later, closer to where I'm at right now, at halfway, they meet their first translator. And he translate that. His name was Jabril. Jabril was the translator, and he translates for him that the pirates wanted 45 million US dollars from him, and he was trying to tell him that it's not reasonable, like they can't do that regularly. And they were trying to get the 45 million, and they wouldn't agree to like not want 45 million dollars for her release or whatever. And then they go, and they're supposed to get one phone call, but for some reason, I guess the pirates like rigged it that the phones don't work, because she tried to call a few things, and Jabril luckily had one of the numbers for one of the U.S. bases, or a U.S. representative to call, and that's where like the chapter ended. And now I'm at the halfway point, close to the exact halfway point actually, of the book. And overall, so far, I really enjoyed kind of Eric's point of view from how he was at home. Like, he doesn't know anything that's going on. He can't talk to anyone really about it, like to make himself like feel more like comfortable, like hoping that she's still alive. And he's just trying to just live his normal life, but it's difficult because who can really live like that, not knowing if their loved one is alive. And it's just rough for him. And then Jessica, of course, is the one who is kidnapped, and she's dealing with it. And just her tale of how she has to go to the bathroom, but she can't go too far because she doesn't want them to think that she's escaping. And she's like just doing all these things to fear for her life, and how careful she's really being. I think that's a super like I guess, less talked about thing in the book, of how careful she was, like, being the whole time, and how that is helping them, really, because she said if they speak out, like, if she does something to try to escape, they would kill Pal, so she can't try to make an escape route because it would cost someone else their life that she doesn't want to kill. I'm excited to read the second half of the book. It's very interesting so far, and I think I'm guessing that she gets saved, but still, it's just, even with that, it's still an enjoyable read for me, and it's just good hearing what they're thinking at the time and everything else.